XRP's magnum opus is going to be created today, guys, and I'm going to show you guys my perfected timeline on what I think will happen with every asset known to mankind. Okay, I'll let you guys know when you're going to become rich or a millionaire depending on how much you have invested into this market. Okay, so that's all going to be stated in today's video. Please like today's video and share. Let's begin. I first want to set the stage by telling you guys why we are here in the first place. Because of the Fed. The next FOMC meeting is in exactly 3 days, guys, right? So this next week is going to be very, like, the most important week of our entire lives. The reason why the system is in place right now is because of this person. Obviously, he's a puppet to whoever controls him, right? This is why we are seeing certain crises, events, black swans happening today in the present moment is because of, you guessed it, this person right here who is controlled. Okay, which connects to every asset, because that's how these assets are manipulated to go up and down. So here's my master timeline that I think may play out. I first want to say as well that this isn't financial advice at all. This can happen, this cannot, and if it doesn't happen, I'm wrong, and so it be, right? But if it does happen, it's going to save me a lot of headache, because it's going to be pretty easy if this were to happen. So maybe it may not, but this is what I feel will happen. Okay, so we're going to be talking about Bitcoin first, USDT next, and then XRP, Ethereum, and basically the dollar, gold, and everything known to mankind, guys. Okay, all in today's video. So let's begin. Bitcoin is the king of all cryptos right now, and every altcoin is following Bitcoin. Yes, most are lagging, but in due time it will catch up. What's Bitcoin's perfected timeline here? This is what I believe. It doesn't have to come to play, guys, but I think something like this, okay, a pump, a dump again, all the way back up for a liquidity squeeze, okay, and then all the way down. The bottom, I believe, here will be 60K to 47K, guys. At this point in time, we will know when the exact bottom will be due to bullish divergences on the weekly time frame. Up here, we'll know if the top is going to be in due to bearish divergences, okay? But we don't have to know the exact tops and bottoms. We have to know the trajectory. After this is completed, where Bitcoin's probably going to head to like 500K, 300K, I feel like, right? If not higher, depending on what happens with money printing, because $30 trillion will be printed down here, in my humble opinion. So that's the path for Bitcoin, guys, right? I know it seems a little crazy, but that's how we are on this channel. Coming to this chart now, the reason why I say that path is likely to take place is because of this chart. This is Tether, okay? And it's the biggest stablecoin out there. So when this pumps, money is flooding out of XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum into this coin, okay, which is USDT. So I think with this coin, guys, it's basically the opposite or inverse of Bitcoin, right? So a pump here, a dump again, and a pump, guys, all the way down for the liquidity sweep, and then all the way back here before it's going down here. This is where you're going to become rich. This is where you're going to make so much money. Why? Because that's when alt season begins. This true alt season begins when Bitcoin dominance obviously dies, but this as well, right? This needs to come down like this harsh, guys, right? This is where you'll become a millionaire, probably after fall time frame. I think, well, depending obviously on how much money you have invested into the market, and depending on which assets, right? Because some are going to do better than others. For me, I would highly suggest, this isn't financial advice, I would say go into XRP, because it's the safest, in my humble opinion, not financial advice. It has the highest ROI potential, again, in my opinion, and it's just the best option, in my opinion, again, okay? But that's what I think will happen, once again, guys, okay? Like this, all the way down here, and then all the way down here, guys, okay? And it's gonna just die, probably a little bit higher. Now, the reason why I say this is because, look, liquidity pockets 1, 2, 3. Don't we see? Right, liquidity pockets right there were formed as well. Do you now understand why this portion, by the way, this portion will be the recession, and that's where Bitcoin drops to like 40 to 60K, right? Like 50 to 60K is gonna be the bottom area for Bitcoin. Right, this is the recession right here, and then this is all the money printing when it happens, guys, okay? Just because of liquidity, I think that's the path it's going to take, though we'll see. Next, shall we go to Ethereum? Ethereum is gonna be the same thing as what we just mentioned, guys, right? So let's talk about XRP. XRP, I still believe it's gonna come down, guys, right? And somewhere around this region will be the bottom, okay, right here, and then we're going to come all the way up, which will follow Bitcoin. We're going to look for bearish divergences here, and then it's probably gonna come under $1 for the actual bottom, like Bitcoin, when it finds this bottom at around 50 to 60K. And then this $30 trillion money printing begins, and this is what will happen to XRP, guys, okay? So something like this, and then, oh my. Do you see 2026? 2026 is the year, I think. Yeah, this is the recession here, right? For 30 trillion to be printed, and then, like, this is where you're probably going to make a bunch of money if you are invested into XRP, guys. Right, so everything's going to just follow Bitcoin at the end, so we don't have to talk about every exact altcoin known to mankind. For Bitcoin dominance, you guys know the path here, right? Let me go to the higher chart. So the reason why this all matches up beautifully as well is because if we do pump here, right, and Bitcoin does dump, look at this. It comes all the way down here, right? Hold support. The recession will occur right here, and at 75% is where Bitcoin dominance should top out, right? And then when this falls, that's when the craziest alt season begins, guys, right? All that liquidity will be taken in probably a single month, max like 3 months, right? So when finally in 2026, right? 2026, when it finally okay, hold on, I'm just doing too much right here. When Bitcoin dominance finally dies like this, okay, in the year 2026, this is where altcoins are going to 100 to 1,000x, if not more. This is why I believe XRP will head to $20 minimum to $100 during this period. Okay, those are just my thoughts. The reason I'm saying this is because the main ingredient that's missing here is the Federal Reserve. Once again, comes back to this person. The Fed hasn't printed 30 trillion, not even 10, 20. Right, 30 to 50 trillion needs to be printed for everything to go parabolic, guys. And the only way they will print such amounts, why? Because they need an excuse exactly for something destructive, for something very bad, like a black swan event on the magnitude of like 10 times worse than what we just saw in the previous days has to happen. Okay, 30 trillion to 50 trillion is when your altcoin will return you 1,000x. 100 to 1,000x. I'm going to save this video to see if we were correct or not later in time. Okay. What else should I talk about? You may be wondering why do I have XLM here as well? Right. The reason I have XLM is because honestly, I'm looking into XLM here to see for a potential buying opportunity. It is kind of very weak, but I don't want to talk about too much about XLM right here, as I think XRP is way greater. But that's just my opinion. Now, let's go to the dollar. The dollar plays a role in the upcoming recession, guys. Okay, so many lines, so many stuff here. But there's this one line I drew all these lines a long time ago, guys. But there's this one line that I drew, right? You guys see this yellow line right here at 96? It goes back to, look at this. It goes back to here, right? So whenever it touches this line, more so like 96, guys, over here, okay? Whenever the dollar touches this line is when the recession occurs, probably. Okay, look at this. All the way to 96 is up here, guys, or down here, I mean. It could touch it by November, December area, right? So late this year is probably the recession occurs. So this thing is probably going to come down like this, guys, right? For our cryptos to pump, right? It's inverse. And then this thing is just going to fly. It's literally going to fly, guys. Okay, it's going to fly so crazy and probably take all these highs, right? All these highs will be taken for some type of bearish divergence, okay? We'll know. The only way we'll know is due to divergences, okay? But that's long time. But again, this is the master timeline, right? This is truly what I believe will occur, guys. You may just observe, right? You don't have to take this 100% as gospel. Just observe, take it as a grain of salt, and see what occurs. During the recession, gold will probably tumble, right? Gold will probably tumble a bit, but then immediately be scooped back up, guys, right? Because everyone's flooding to or fleeing from risk-on assets to risk-off. VIX is following our plan right now. when this fully tops out is when we'll see cryptos rallying, okay, before the actual black swan recession occurs later this year. The Dow Jones and the SPX are probably about topped out, in my humble opinion. They may range here, right, for October or whatever, or the fall time frame, and then it will take a big dive, guys. The big dive is probably, let's see here, maybe like 33K, right, depending, I don't know, maybe around this region here, right. But I do believe it's going to come down, guys, right. It is going to come down. That's like later this year, I think. If a recession plays out, that is, right? So those are my thoughts on what's happening here with all these coins, guys. Yeah, it is like a roller coaster, I would say so myself, but the reason I'm saying it once again is because of liquidity, right? Liquidity. Oh, and the top of Bitcoin or cryptos will be like this, guys, okay? The top will be, let's see here. The top of cryptos will be when it hits this line, okay? The top of Bitcoin, I should say, because I don't know about XRP, since it's like unpredictable, right? Of how high it could go, or altcoins, since they are very volatile. But for Bitcoin, I'm pretty sure the top will occur when it touches this line. Okay, it's gonna come down a bit from it, but it's gonna get scooped back up, guys, right? And probably the collapse happens then on after. But that's a long time from now. That's like possibly next year, right? Or at least a bear market happens. Okay, do I need to talk about anything else here? Probably not. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't know if I forgot anything, but I did talk about some of these scenarios a long time ago. But this time I forgot which video talked about it, so I wanted to make another video, right? I wanted to make another video so I could remember it for a later time. By the way, one more thing about alt season. This whole game plan will change, okay? This whole game plan of this from this video will change if we hold this line as resistance. If we hold it as support, which I think it will do, the game plan is still set, which the recession occurs here, okay? Before it's dying, and alt season, millionaires and billionaires will be born. Now again, a lot of people will be tricked because I do believe, again, we need to sweep these highs, right, before the recession occurs. But that's going to take possibly a while from now, right? But I don't want to be so like zoomed in, right, on my theory. Let us investigate Raoul Pal though as well, because he says keeps trucking along, doing its debasement thing. If 89% of all Bitcoin price action is explained by global liquidity, then by definition, almost all news and narrative is noise. Enjoy your weekend, right? So yes, Raoul Pal could be correct, because if liquidity follows, or assets follow liquidity, up we go, right? So it's that clear. Either we go up from here. Obviously, you're not going to sell, right? You shouldn't sell at all, because either way, we're going to see a pump imminent, right? A pump imminent for the sweep of the highs. But yeah, I mean, either or, it just flies. It keeps going up, guys, right? Or it comes down. Oh, it looks very similar, right? It does look a little bit similar, but a little bit different here. This is 2021 top for Bitcoin. What's interesting to me is if we close this month, right, for Bitcoin down, which I think it will, you guys can see all the liquidity, right? Or I mean, the people that are selling by these wicks. Look at this right here, right? Look at all these sells. We did see some buys down here, but usually when we see wicks of this large of a degree, guys, right, it's not good, because that means whales are selling. There needs to be less selling pressure. Look at by these wicks, right, at the top side, and it got larger and larger when it reached its top, right? So just be careful from that as well. So yeah, let's see what's gonna happen, guys. That's my magnum opus. If I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. We'll see in the future of what really happens. Now, financial advice, and yeah, just honestly ride the waves and you'll be fine, guys, right? Or hodl for dear life. Hold on for your dear life. You'll make it out, because the money printing is coming soon, no matter what. Who says what? But anyways, guys, so face Mason is. See ya.